Do you think you might have ADHD? This is a thought that crosses my mind constantly. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but I've also never been tested for ADHD. So in today's video, we're going to look at the signs and symptoms of ADHD in adults so you can get a better understanding of whether you or somebody that you care about might have ADHD. G'day, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Jesse Crow and I'm the traveling scientist, currently living here in Lorne, Australia. And on this channel, we investigate scientific ideas and techniques to help you live a smarter, happier, and healthier life. So what is ADHD? ADHD is a really common neurodevelopmental disorder. It often presents as impulsive behavior, struggle to focus, and hyperactivity. And it affects between approximately 5 to 7% of children and 2 to 5% of adults. ADHD is caused by a combination of environmental and genetic factors, and it's usually associated with things like trouble studying because you can't focus, trouble with relationships because you're unpredictable, and frequent accidents because maybe you're a little bit clumsy. And sometimes I really struggle to focus on my work. Sometimes I do really random stuff like run around my house or stay up till 3 AM watching YouTube videos. And I'm even accident prone. One time I actually rolled my ankle literally walking on flat ground. How does that even happen? But does this mean that I have ADHD? Well, if you're feeling anything like I am, then let's try and figure this out by looking at the signs and symptoms of ADHD in adults. Now there are many different indicators of ADHD, but I'm just going to point out the 7 main traits that it's associated with. So for each of these traits, just ask yourself the question, yes or no. Is this you? Impulsive. Do you often make instant decisions without considering the consequences? Are you impulsive? Disorganized. Do you struggle to keep things in order, like your room or your life? Are you disorganized? Problems prioritizing. Do you find it difficult to do the important stuff before everything else? Are your priorities out of order? Trouble focusing. Do you have trouble concentrating on your work or your studies? Do you have trouble focusing? Restlessness. Do you often feel restless, like you just want to run away or do something crazy? Are you restless? Poor time management. Do you struggle to complete tasks on time or arrive places on time? Are you pretty average with time? And problems completing tasks. Do you find it challenging to finish things that are really important? Do you have problems completing tasks? Now, I'm not a doctor, but if you answered yes to a majority of those questions, then it's possible that you may well have ADHD. But it's important to know that ADHD is a spectrum. It's not like you either have it or you don't. Maybe you're really impulsive and super hyperactive, or maybe you're just a little bit ADHD. Either way, what can you do about it? ADHD can be a curse, but it can also be a blessing. And if you think you have ADHD, use that to your advantage. If you're hyperactive, you can use all that energy to do great things. If you have trouble focusing on something that you don't really care about, find something that you do care about and you'll be able to become hyper-focused and become an expert at that thing. And you might not be the best at some things, but you're great at other things. You just need to figure out what those things are and then go and do them like a boss. And if you are struggling with the symptoms of ADHD, there are a few things you can do to manage that. You can get therapy, specifically cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, which I really need to make a video about. I'm going to do it soon, I'll put it up here. CBT involves talking with a professional and developing strategies to help you deal with your condition. These strategies will help you to reduce your impulsive behaviors, to improve your organization, and to help you focus so that you can achieve your goals. Another thing you can try is medicine, and there are stimulant drugs for ADHD, like Ritalin and Adderall, which I made a video about. It's actually super interesting. It's kind of like MDMA, but it treats ADHD. And there's also non-stimulant drugs for ADHD, like antidepressants. I've made a video about those as well. But in general, medicine may be effective at treating ADHD, but there can be some side effects. So definitely talk with your doctor first before taking any medication for ADHD. So do you have ADHD? Look, everybody shows some of the symptoms of ADHD every now and then. Whether you're disorganized or lacking focus or having trouble finishing something, you're only human and we all struggle with life sometimes. But if you really think that you do have ADHD and you're worried about that, just remember that ADHD is not a bad thing. It can be a superpower if you learn to control it. So take advantage of that and use it as a strength. But if your symptoms of ADHD are severe enough to cause ongoing problems in several areas of your life, then definitely talk to a doctor about your options. Let me know how you're feeling about all of this in the comment section down below, and thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope you learned something and you subscribe for more videos every single week. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.